How's it going, guys? Brian Cusco here at Triple B. Do you know what an oxymoron is? No, it's not a dunce with a skin condition. No, it's not a new element on the periodic table. It's a figure of speech in which apparently contradictory terms appear in conjunction. Like dwarf retic, a little tiny giant snake. We're going to be looking at what is definitely the smallest reticulated python I have ever seen in my entire life. This sounds impressive, no? Our buddy John Cashman over at Reptile Avenue is going to end his radio silence and jump on the horn with us here in today's episode. You're watching Triple B TV.
I mean, Reptile Avenue and stuff, like how long have you, like, when did Reptile Avenue start, really?
Reptile Ave started about 5 or 6 years ago, maybe a little longer, with Daniel Sleece and myself. I like to breed, but I don't deal too much with the public, so he's good at selling. So before that, I started this back in like 99 when I first bought my first tiger retic, and so I've been just kind of behind the scenes breeding and selling my stuff through here and there, and then I hooked up with him, after going to the shows and meeting with him, and so he was really good at selling, and I didn't really like to deal with the public that much, so he took over.
This is a good
selling part.
Good partnership.
Yeah, so he's good at talking and I'm good at the breeding part. So
I'm glad we get to actually hear you talk now. You got to hear about the people that don't like to talk, because that's where some of the gold is, I think. But how did you get into snake?
When I was a little kid, same thing, dinosaurs, and then when I was like 5 years old, I caught my first gopher snake, and from there I just, I go out and catch them, and then later on, got into the pythons and the boas, and the retics have always been my thing, because the bright orange eyes, the silver heads, or the yellow heads, and stuff like that. It's just, I've always, bigger snakes, it seems like. The bigger, the better.
It's awesome, man. So is snakes full-time for you, or is it a...
No, not right now. I'm hopefully in the next year or so I can do it full-time, but right now I have a full-time job, and then I do this on the side.
It's cool, man. It's cool. Super dwarfs are what you guys mainly
Super
focus
dwarf
on, or just retics in general, or...
A lot of mainland stuff. I'm trying to focus more on super dwarfs and locale stuff and dwarf stuff, and go that route. There's so many morphs, but a lot of the locale stuff, I think, and the normal stuff's kind of getting, pushed aside, and I think a lot of them, different island morphs have different colors, and then they can add to a lot of the morphs that we're breeding now too.
So you got a lot of stuff you're trying to keep the lines like pure kind of thing, like keep the localities.
Pure, and then as crosses too.
Okay.
Because like right now I just have eggs cooking from my Slayer female, and I bred it to a rented ghost tiger.
Okay.
So I got eggs cooking, so it'll be 50% Slayer, 100% het for rented ghosts.
Gotcha. And you guys keep pretty good records of what percentages are.
Yeah, we try to do for everything stuff. We have. Because most of my animals are the super dwarfs and the dwarf stuff, a lot of it's wild caught. I have a few things like my Slayer, she's captive born, but I know her lineage, where she came from and stuff like that. But like the wild caught stuff, I just go by what it was told to me as what I see, and they're all small. I mean, my females are like 6 feet, 7 feet on some of the captive born stuff.
That's cool, man. I got a buddy out there, Lance Kirkman, who is probably really appreciative of the fact that you guys are keeping some locality stuff pure. There's sometimes people lose track of that, and it's nice to keep some of that stuff going, I think, instead of just focus on what morphs you can make sure some of the lines are staying pure, so you can, in case something happens in the wild. I mean, that's one of the big things with breeding, right? Is it in case something happens in the wild, we have all the species still.
Yeah, that was like our main thing, especially when the ban happened. I tried to get with Daniel, I told him, get all the locale stuff you can get right now that's coming in, because once it's over, that's it. We're not going to get any more in, so whatever locale stuff we have now, we can raise up, hopefully get some red.
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
So,
you got some steaks we can show off here today? Yeah. You got a Phantom Sunfire Golden Child het for albino.
Platinum.
Platinum.
Yeah, Platinum, Phantom, Sunfire, Golden Child, het for albino.
Wow, man.
It kind of gives it like a peanut butter look almost.
Well, it almost reminded me of when I just saw the face, it reminded me of a certain dog. What was I thinking of? A Cocker Spaniel. I thought it looked like, from a certain angle back here, it looked like a Cocker Spaniel for a second. Or no, I'm sorry, Shelby? Okay, I should just forget. There's a breed of dog a Brittany.
Brittany?
It reminded me of a Brittany at that angle, just like the way the color of the head is. That's weird that it did that to me. I don't know why it did that. That was cool. So guess what, guys? This is the biggest snake we're gonna show you today. So think about that. We got some tiny snakes coming out here.
This one's platinum sunfire, double het, albino, and orange ghost stripe.
Platinum sunfire, double het, albino,
and orange ghost stripe.
Yeah. Wow, that's some crazy potential in that snake right there.
So you get a lot of, anything with the cows or orange ghost stripe and albino stuff, it can produce a lot of different things.
Oh, I like this little double. You got the two rosettes real close to each other right there. It's kind of trippy. It's all evenly spaced, and then they just.
Yeah, it's only on the one side too. It's got a nice floating tail.
That tail is definitely what Shane would approve.
So that's some of the mainland stuff we're working with. And then we go to the pure super dwarfs.
I don't think I've ever seen one that small in person. I know they exist, obviously, but that's. You guys seen how small this retic is? Wow, it's a beautiful baby too, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, that orange eye, like you said.
Yeah, the orange eyes who really first got me towards the retics. Of course, back in the 80s and 90s, the only thing we had really looked at was, a yellowhead was like the big thing, and most of them were silver. And then you got a yellowhead, and you were like, that was like the biggest thing. And then of course, then the tigers came, and everything else.
You know what's interesting to me is like how a lot of these morphs seem to flow between all the different species. With jaguar, you got jaguar and carpets, you got jaguar and retics now, and then you got.
And it's funny because the jaguar carpets and the jaguar retics all have head wobbles,
right? Like
a spider.
Right, exactly. You got these corresponding morphs through all the species that have the same. It's like they're the same exact thing.
Yeah, it's a trip.
It is. It's really interesting. It's one of the biggest, most interesting things to me. I want to find out more about and like what causes those things.
Yeah, I know. I do have a 50% super dwarf jag. And he's not as bad as my mainland. I have a sunfire jag, and he wobbles pretty good. The super dwarf one, only like when it's food, it gets excited, and it's only like a little bit, like when food's there, and when he gets excited. But other than that, when he's chilled and laid back, there's no wobble.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's the
Walcott
blood or what.
I think that's some stuff we're gonna be finding out about in the near future here to know exactly what's going on. Like.
Yeah.
Well, hey John, I know you're not usually the man that's like coming out and talking to the people, but give John a hand, man, for coming out here and talking with us today, please. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it, man.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you talking to me.
What did y'all think of this tiny little retic? Tiny, right? We're gonna need to do an update on that thing in a year or two and see just how tiny it stays. What do you say? Sound like a plan? If you haven't already, jump down in the description to see where you can find out more about John and his snakes. And while you're down there, do a little dance on the like button and tell your friends why you did it. I've got a couple shout outs to throw out to our Patreon supporters: Delanor Osmore, Larry Dutro, Drew Bonvenuto, Marshall Platts, Liam Armenta, and Greg Touche. Thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it over here. And if this is your first time watching and you're looking for more, there are literally over 100 episodes of Triple B TV that we've conveniently placed in a little playlist for you right here on the channel. Make sure to give all that stuff a go. Remember to hug your loved ones tight, drink plenty of water, clean your snakes off, and don't forget to wipe. And most importantly, tune in for next week's episode where we will be talking to my buddy Forrest Fanning of RepTech. And until then, you've been watching Triple B TV. Y'all take care.
Sitting in my living room. I know it's tough sometimes with all the freaking bright lights, but
we're going to be looking at what is definitely the smallest reticulated python.
Is that better?
Right there.
That's good?
No, it's not a dunce with a skin.
I usually don't have this, guys. That's awesome to have him. Perfect, man. That's gonna be beautiful. This is actually the first time I've actually set up a booth. I'm always running around setting this up at everybody else's booth. We're gonna pull them all back out again and get some B-roll shots.
The snap could have been better.